my name is Serena Poon, and welcome to my show, Serena Loves. As a celebrity chef, nutritionist, and entrepreneur, I'm incredibly passionate about helping others live their best life through methods I call culinary alchemy, which is the magic of combining education, integrative and functional nutrition with healing intuitive energy. So, with each episode, I'm going to share with you the inspiring stories of some amazing people, incredible entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds, each who have overcome challenges in their personal journeys to get to where they are today. And today, I have the true honor of welcoming to the show someone who has not only positively impacted millions of people already, she has deeply inspired me as both a female entrepreneur and someone who shares in her mission to help give the world tools for self-healing and self-improvement. As a 3-time TEDx speaker and someone with over 15 years of C-suite experience in video game technology, mobile app development, digital distribution, she has helped create digital content that has impacted the evolution of technology in the gaming space. She then married that wisdom with 15 years as an avid meditator, and she is now the CEO of a first-of-its-kind, award-winning fitness system that harnesses the power of neuroscience, mindfulness, and immersive technology to create these incredible virtual reality experiences. So basically, it has the power to calm you and focus your mind in less than 10 minutes. On top of that, she has the most beautiful and empowering backstory that I can't wait for her to share with you. Please welcome the CEO of TRIPP, Nanea Reeves. Hi.
Hi, Serena. That was such a great introduction.
You're so welcome.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
There's so much to talk about you that I couldn't get it all into just a few seconds, and I would love for you to share all of your experiences because you bring such incredible wisdom and experience in the technology space, and then you've melded it with the wellness space, and you're part of this incredible, and you lead this incredible company that has this device that can help the rest of us meditate and chill, and that's amazing.
And you've tried TRIPP.
Oh yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, you guys. I've had a chance to be a part of the beta testing, I guess, for a couple of the experiences, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
So I'd love for you to dive into how all that works.
Sure.
But before that, I would really like to share your backstory.
Oh, of
because
course.
I just don't think that I can, do that justice, and it's beautiful, and I relate to a lot of it.
Thank you so much. Well, let's see, I can start all the way back on how I got into meditation.
Yes,
and
start.
Also my love for video games and how that emerged. And I had a very challenging childhood, as many people have overcome. And my mother was a drug addict most of my life. And as the oldest child, I felt this tremendous amount of responsibility. And I had 2 younger sisters, one half sister, and a sister 2 years younger than me, who we were just 2 peas in a pod and very much alike. And I felt this huge sense of responsibility as a young girl that, made me feel like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. And when I would play video games, first at the arcade, and then as the consoles came out, I could immerse myself in them. I found that it was an environment that I felt like I had control over.
Right.
And that I could see myself as a builder and a maker and a hero. And I've given a lot of talks on why I feel that young girls should play video games for those very reasons, that it's less about killing people and the violence.
Sure.
These games like Minecraft and others like it, where you're given tools and you're building things. It's really important for especially young females to grow up with that mindset. And I really think it laid the foundation for me to be an entrepreneur.
Beautiful.
But as I got into my teenage years, the mental health issues that started to arise from just navigating a lot of trauma, from having parenting the way that I did, a lot of neglect. I had a meltdown. And I never spoke about this until maybe about a year ago.
Wow.
So I've never felt comfortable,
Sure.
but I do feel now that you know, it's such a small part of my history and my journey, and maybe it can help someone else who's struggling with some of these issues. Just ask
Absolutely.
for help.
Yeah.
Because when I did finally, I ended up in the hospital, and through that, I was connected to a therapist, a woman who taught me how to meditate during a meditation session where I was very agitated.
Right.
And just connecting to my breath and the effect that it had, it was transformative. And throughout our interactions, I got deeper and deeper into it.
Yeah.
So it's this weird combination of video games, which gave me this sense of myself. It also led me to a love of technology.
Sure.
And then when I started to really rebuild my life in a way that just having this space to see myself differently,
Sure.
meditation gave me that.
Sure. And that's beautiful. And go on.
Oh, no, go ahead. So,
Well, it's interesting because it seems like there's such different worlds, video gaming and
of course, you
technology and
could be more
meditation.
opposite.
But then at the same time, like from my perspective, I see it as, your mind is trying to find a place to be safe.
Right.
Your mind is trying to find a place to heal and kind of and kind of create that environment so that you can figure things out,
Exactly.
So,
And so maybe that might help some parents who have some concerns about,
sure.
I mean, obviously, we should know who our kids are speaking to online and teach them to be empowered to take care of themselves in those interactions. But there are a lot of benefits to playing video games.
No,
There's spatial
absolutely.
reasoning skills,
Yeah.
et cetera. And like you said so beautifully, a place to retreat to.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I found though, as I got into more and more digging into tech, I taught myself how to code, and this career emerged for me that I was very passionate about, but I
Yeah.
was also one of the very few women
Sure.
out there in that
Oh,
environment.
yeah,
And
I bet.
there's no more male-oriented culture than the video game industry, especially on the tech side.
Sure.
And so what I found was I had to learn how to navigate that environment and be able to get stuff done.
Sure.
And it required that I look at it more strategically
Sure.
rather than go victim to it. And
Yeah.
my meditation practice really helped me with that too. Take a pause
Yeah.
and not react, and then figure out, okay,
There's a different way.
how do I play it to win?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I actually relate to that because as a female chef, and I was
Oh, I would
classically
imagine,
trained in
yeah.
French cuisine, and so and there's a lot of female chefs now, but when I first started and when I was in school, I mean, it's
Right.
traditionally still a very male dominated
Yeah.
industry, people at the top levels, and so I understand, and I think that they judge you on your size and your frame too, so if
Yeah.
you had to see me carry around like 30-gallon stock pots, it was just, I understand.
Yeah.
But
and
you figure out a way to do it.
You
Yeah.
find your style. I mean, I'm so glad that the conversation has expanded where we're looking at our biases
Sure.
and trying to change the work environment to make it more receptive
Yes.
so that people like us don't have to figure out, okay, how am I going to dodge these bullets?
Yeah.
Or how am I going to fit myself to fit in?
Yeah.
And, so I think it's a really exciting time. I
Yes.
know it's uncomfortable for a lot of people, but I think there are a lot of positives there.
No, absolutely. I think things are always slightly uncomfortable at first,
Of
right?
course.
So I feel like that's kind of the normal, but it's also, like you said, very exciting. And, I was looking at your background, and I thought, this woman's a badass. She's been the president of this, the CEO of that, the chief strategist of this.
Yeah.
And now here you are the CEO of this incredible company
Right.
where it kind of marries, your expertise and all this experience that you have in these two, what seems like different worlds.
Right.
Right. And now you guys have created this virtual reality experience. So I would love for you to kind of share
Sure.
about that. And then, we'll ask you a lot of questions. Just
Of
so
course,
everybody knows.
please do, and let's make this conversational
Yeah.
too. It's great. I love this interaction. I well, so using meditation to help me navigate success, but then I also found it helps you navigate challenges.
Life,
And
yeah.
when you have a big life, you're bound to get hit,
Sure.
you know, with a lot of the curveballs that life can. And I was president at a mobile messaging company and was traveling with my husband and came home from a trip to Vietnam. He was an amazing man and built an orphanage there. And he had a stomach ache, and we were told he had 8 months to live, and ended up he was gone within 8 weeks.
Oh,
And so when you, and this was about 4.5 years ago,
yeah. So sorry.
but there were some really amazing moments during that journey, which, you know, can not only be incredibly painful, but by just being present and with each other and not trying to run away from the truth of what was happening.
Yeah.
There was so much connection and
Yeah.
love that even expanded, not only for me, but for our whole community. And then, of course, after he was gone, and I was navigating grief. And what I know about going through that experience and navigating grief is there's no right way to do it.
No.
And it's different for every person.
Absolutely.
And also every type of loss,
Yeah.
you know, whether it's a friend or an animal or
Yeah.
your husband. And so it was in that space that I sat in my meditation. And after I started moving through the sadness and emerging from, you know, the big initial part of it, I started to ask myself, what do I want to do next?
Yeah.
Here I have this clearing, not by choice, but by circumstance.
Sure.
And I was in a position where I could do anything. I could go buy a tiny house, which I'm obsessed with, up in Oregon and build a big garden and read books. Or I could do something that was about me and my contribution at this stage in my life. And so I started to ask myself, what does the company look like that I want to run?
Yeah.
I've always been number two. For a long time, I've been, you know, COO, president, helping other people realize their vision
Yeah.
and contributing to it, which, you know, is important part of my journey. But what does the company look like that I want to run? And this idea to take video games and meditation and the immersion of virtual reality, which seem to have this multiplicative effect,
Yeah.
not to simulate this world, but to take you to a place that can change the way that you feel.
Yeah.
And essentially, we like to say hack mindfulness or hack the way you feel.
Yeah. No, it's a brilliant way to put it because it's really what it is.
Right.
And you guys do it in such a short amount of time.
Well, we knew the shortness was important.
Yeah.
That came from a meditation teaching I got in Tibet.
Oh, wow.
Because in Tibet, they meditate with their eyes open. It's less about like taking a chill pill, you know, and checking out. It's more about really leaning into bringing your awareness to this moment. And then this Dzogchen Tibetan Buddhist master taught me this mindfulness practice that was only 5 minutes long. And he said, rather than just do 20 minutes in the morning, do a few 5 minutes throughout the day. So it became this landing pad for me to push reset on.
Yeah.
And that practice I found to be very transformative for me in my life because I could do simple hacks throughout the day, like change my meeting length from an hour to 45 minutes and then sit for 5-10 minutes in between and move on to the next thing. And it was amazing for me. And so that's what informed the design of TRIPP, that we do a really short session so people can do it.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that really is one of the most important things is that, you know, people can do it.
You have to do it.
And if it's sustainable and doable, then you'll keep doing it. You know?
Exactly.
So.
And you can't think about like, that's why we like to call it fitness for your inner self, which really we don't spend a lot of time thinking about, but it's for everything because if you're not fit on the inside, you're not going to care enough for yourself to take care of the outside.
No, absolutely.
Or you're going to be taking care of the outside from a place of insecurity.
Yeah.
And all of those can have disastrous effects, you know, when taken to the extreme. So it's really important just to create this container to take care of ourselves. And that is the foundation for what we decided to do to design the product,
Right.
was to help do a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah.
It's so hard to even listen to an audio tape and tell someone, relax and don't think, or close your eyes, or,
It's true
your
though.
mind, you
Yeah.
can see how your mind wanders. And we're not trying to replace that at all. We're just trying to help onboard you to create that space for yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think it's brilliant. And you guys have taken so much of this neuroscience and, and mindfulness is a practice everybody needs to have. I mean, there's literally there's no one that wouldn't benefit from it, right?
Exactly.
And it's brilliant to take all what we have in technology now and create this hack for people.
Right.
So can you walk us through what that experience would be like for someone once they put on those VR goggles?
Right, and we're available right now in the Oculus Go. If you don't have one, you can go to TRIPP.com and we can hook you up. You can also just download it and try it for free.
Okay.
And it's a short session. We have two main trips that we call your daily practice. It's focus and calm. And the focus trip we recommend you do during the day and calm at night. Focus has a little bit of gameplay mechanics. So you put the device on your head, and for the next 7 minutes, we guide you through breathing, and we visualize your breath, which is very effective. And then there's a simple game that you play with gentle movements of your head that is kind of a metaphor for navigating your thought stream in meditation, right?
Yeah.
You kind of go in the gaps. And at the end of the experience, there's a thought to leave you with. And you can personalize the experience by uploading images from the mobile app from your own life into the TRIPP experience, which has this amazing ability to connect you to your own life's journey.
It's brilliant and beautiful.
And we've seen people do very creative things with that feature. We have people who are in compromised health will upload images of themselves when they were healthier to visualize that, state of being for themselves. I, on the anniversary of my husband's death, was able to upload images of him and hold space for our journey, in a way that was empowering as opposed to just being this difficult day for me all day long. Do you know?
That's really amazing. And we're running low on time.
Yeah, sure.
But I know that you guys received this grant, and there's this sort of trajectory of helping people that have post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety and addiction.
And addiction recovery especially. And for me, that's very meaningful because my younger sister that I mentioned in the beginning died of a drug overdose in 2012. And when we got this NIH grant to use TRIPP in addiction recovery, which kicks off in 2 weeks in Houston, Texas at Memorial Hermann, it was just one of those full circle moments for me where I realized that my goal to use tech to help others, was on the verge of really happening.
Yeah, I mean, and it is happening. It is, and I would love for you to come back another time.
Yeah, I would love that too.
And talk more, because I feel that this is so powerful, this tool. And I would love for you to show the audience right now where we could find more information on the technology.
Yes, if you go to tripp.com, and that's TRIPP.com, you can use a code for enter in Serena at checkout, and you'll get a 20% discount to all of Serena's audience. So thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. You guys, we're going to have her on another time, because there's so much to this tool that, I'd love for you to talk more about. But go to the site, go to Serena Loves TV, watch this episode again. We'll have all the information up for you. And, we're excited that you've joined us, and we will see you next time.